Welcome to What's a Beautiful Life Anyway? I'm your host, Jill Bennett. This is the channel that shares ideas to help you live your best life, because life can be beautiful if you live consciously. Welcome to this week's edition of What's a Beautiful Life Anyway? I'm your host, Jill Bennett, and with me today I have Janet Purnell. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Jill.
Oh, it's so lovely to have you here today. Now, Janet is my lovely, lovely friend. We met through a business, but we'll talk more about that later. Janet is a busy mum of two. She's got Henry, who's 16, and Elsie, who's 9. Janet, tell us a bit more about you and your background.
Hello, everybody. I'm Janet, and yes, like Jill said, I've got Henry who's 16 and Elsie who's 9. Also got a dog. So busy life, day to day. So my career basically started in IT, in the corporate world, and I was in the corporate world for a good 15, 18 years, long time, until I was made redundant. Fell pregnant with Elsie. So life was going to change again with a new baby on the way, and I felt I needed to make a change, a positive change, not only for myself, but also for the family. It was very important. And looking back, I think there's a lot of people in my situation, especially mums, that we give up our career for the better of our family and to be there. And looking back, for us, it was positive, it was good. And since then, I've been on the path of, what can I do with my life and my career, and, improving and make a better version of myself.
And it's funny, isn't it, that sometimes, I know I had a period, not a very long period, because I did work through my children. But when I gave up work, you sort of have a period of almost drifting, don't you, where you're happy you're not working and you're happy you're around for the children a bit more, but you're not really sure what's next. And sometimes you don't feel completely fulfilled, even though we obviously adore our children and our dogs, probably more so sometimes. Can I say that? But yeah, it is funny how we do sometimes want a bit more. Now, we are currently buddies for something called the Miracle Morning, but we'll go on to that in a little while, because it's worth saying that we're both in the network marketing industry. Now, this industry sometimes has a bad rap, but I think that's from people who don't really understand what the industry is all about. There are so many positive things about that industry. There is the fact that it's a very positive environment to be in. You are encouraged to develop yourself personally. And I know for myself, when I got into personal development, I changed as a person and I became happier and healthier. So there's so much positive energy. There's just so many. I mean, what would you say about that industry, Janet?
My life changed, and like you said, it's like when you especially start a family, or there is a change in your career, you can get lost. And through the network marketing industry, and because being in your own boss, you need to be dedicated, you need to be disciplined. And through the self-development that we've learned, and we'll talk about that in a minute, about the Miracle Morning, but I think it's just focus on you as a person, of how you can grow and how you can become a better version in all different angles. And I've changed, because sometimes, yes, you do get lost, because it's all about the family, about the house, about having put dinner on the table, but you're kind of like, well, what about me?
Yeah.
What do I want, or what I would like, or and just picking up a book for 10 minutes and learn. And just it's important. We need that. And I think especially in today's society, there's so many people that do feel lost, and don't really have a purpose, or but you just create your positive energy yourself.
Yeah. that you're right, you know, getting lost and just everything is about other people and not about you. It's really key that you start looking at yourself and looking after yourself. It's a bit like the old analogy of putting the oxygen mask on yourself first before helping a young child. If you don't look after you, what happens if you become ill or depressed, or, you know, just feeling sorry for yourself and not knowing where you're going? That's not very good for your family either. I think one way I can explain a bit more about the positive energy of the network marketing industry is I was at a conference in Las Vegas for the company we ran our business through, and our CEO at the time came onto the stage, and she said that there had been a woman in the audience, and that woman had to leave because she'd had a message. Her husband was in the US military and he'd been kidnapped by the Taliban. And obviously a horrendous thing to happen to anyone. So this woman had gone off to go home, be with her family and her children. And the CEO said, I'd like everyone here, and there were 18,000 of us in this arena. We're going to have a couple of minutes. We want you all to just think about this guy, think about a successful outcome, about him being rescued and back home in the arms of his family. And we had that 2-minute silence. And I know certainly in the area I was sitting, it was total silence. Everyone with their eyes closed, everyone, whether they believe in praying, in a God, in a Buddha, in their higher self, whatever, we all, you put that positive energy into this man being rescued. And within 2 hours, he was rescued. And I think that shows the power, you know, for anyone out there who doesn't believe in how our energy can affect our lives and the lives of people around us. There's so many things that you can read to find out more about this. I went to, sorry to keep going on about this, but I think it's such an important point. I went to the launching of a film about the Dalai Lama in London, and we were all sat there in this small church, probably 400, if that, maybe 300 of us. And they showed the film, and there were some Buddhist monks there, all in their orange robes, chanting. It was just an incredible energy in the room. And then the one monk in broken English said that he wanted to make water dance. Well, I'd never heard of water dancing before. He got his singing bowl. Mine is in the UK, actually. I haven't got it here. But he had a beautiful singing bowl, and he literally opened a bottle of water, mineral water, tipped it into the bowl. And he said, I want all of you to focus your energy on this bowl and the water in it. Just give loads of energy to it. And he got, you know, the sort of wooden sticks with the gong thing. And he was rubbing that around the edge of the bowl. And literally within minutes, the water was dancing. The water was jumping out of the bowl like a fountain. So yeah, energy is really important. And anyone who's listening who needs more positivity in their life, just research dancing water, just have a look at what can happen. But Janet and I, being part of this company, we went to a conference last month in September, and one of the speakers there was a guy called Hal Elrod. And we'd both come across him years ago, hadn't we? And we'd followed some of his principles, but we'd both done the Miracle Morning for quite a long time. And then for some reason, we sort of fell out of it. And we both decided we needed more positivity in our lives and just to be a little bit more focused. And so we got back into doing the Miracle Morning. Hal Elrod died when he was 20. He's the author of the book. I do have the book here to show everybody. But there's a little picture of him. I'm not sure how clear that is, but there's a little picture of him. He literally died and was hit by a drunk driver head on in a car accident in America, was resuscitated at the side of the road, told he would probably never walk again and he'd have brain damage, and he decided that wasn't going to be his fate. So you can Google his story. There is now a movie as well that is the movie out, or is it coming? Maybe the movie's coming.
I think it's out.
Is it out? Okay, so you can watch that, pay a few pounds online and you'll be able to watch that. But basically, the Miracle Morning is all about having a morning routine. And Janet will tell you in a minute what the Miracle Movie is, but I just wanted to say, having a morning routine is so linked to success in life. And there are so many famous people who have a morning routine. There's Oprah Winfrey, Tony Robbins. Gary Vaynerchuk, and I Google him. He's all about business and processes and things. There's a professional tennis player called Naomi Osaka. Rich Roll, who I've listened to some of his podcasts, he's an ultra endurance athlete. Jeff Bezos, no one needs to introduce him, the founder and executive chairman of Amazon. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Adriana Huffington, who I love, who is the co-founder of the Huffington Post. And it goes on. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, Anne Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue, Elon Musk, we don't need any introduction, Warren Buffett, who's one of the richest men in the world, and is chairman and CEO of a company called Berkshire Hathaway, Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft, Barack Obama, and we could go on. What is it these people know that you don't? Janet, what is the miracle morning?
So the miracle morning is a 6-step morning routine to start your day. So what Hal, years ago, Hal was in lots of debt and lost, and he needed something, and he started looking at all of these successful people. So what do they do to be this successful, and what do I need to do to copy it, basically? You know, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. A lot of people have already done it for us. And he basically discovered that between all of them, they were doing 6 different things. So you have the silence, affirmations, visualizations. We'll go into all of these in a minute. Exercise, reading, and scribing. And then he thought, but which one do I do? You know, which one is the right one for me to become as successful as one of these people? And then he thought, what if I do all 6 of them? And that's how he started the miracle morning. And after 2 months, his business started picking up again, money started coming back in. And, you know, even his wife was saying, it's like, that's your miracle morning. And that's how this book was discovered. So each morning, so if I may continue on the
Yeah. We should just say that to remind you of what you need to do, he has an acronym, Life Savers, and every letter in the word savers means something. And yeah, we'll go into each one of those 6 things. So yeah, Janet, tell us about silence.
So the first one is silence of savers. And silence is a very important thing of the miracle morning, or part of the miracle morning. So for a lot of people, either their day starts hectic, we have like a million things on your mind and that you need to do and run around, or, you know, as a mum, kind of like get the children up, get them dressed, get them breakfast, etc. Or sometimes, you know, other people are slow, they really struggle getting up and, you know, not having a lot of energy, but neither of them is a productive way to start your day. And with the silence, it's the meditation is to reduce your stress at the beginning of each day. So you start your day calm, with clarity, focus. It's the meditation is just practicing the quieting and focusing of your mind. And personally, I've seen such a big change in my life doing that. Whereas now I get up an hour earlier to do the miracle morning with Jill. Whereas normally my days normally would start at 7, and I've always told myself 7 a.m. That's the earliest I can get up. But since we start the miracle morning, I actually already start waking up before my alarm goes off, 10 to 6. And I'm kind of like, is it time to get up yet? But meditation's been brilliant, because just that 10 minutes of silencing your mind and being quiet and just have 10 minutes of me time. I feel that through the rest of the day, I'm much more calmer, I'm more in control, I'm more on top of things. And that is just the meditation part.
Which is brilliant, isn't it? And silence to some people might mean prayer, it might mean just sitting listening to your breath, but there are so many guided meditations online which can really help you to start your day in a positive way. And as Janet says, if you're not a morning person, become one, because you will end up being really excited about getting up. And I know Hal Elrod talks about it in the book, where he literally was not a morning person, and he gives you some hints and tips on how you can get up. I should also say that this book now, I think there's probably about 8 different versions of it. So there's the Miracle Morning for network marketers, there's the Miracle Morning for salespeople, and I'm sure there'll be lots more which will come out during the next few years. I'll tell you a little bit about affirmations, because the A in Savers, in Life Savers, is for affirmations. And affirmations are positive statements that can help you to challenge and overcome your own self-sabotaging and negative thoughts. We all have thousands, there's so many different numbers that you can read of thoughts that go through our head each day, and most of them will be negative. If you start really thinking and writing down the thoughts that you have, you'll find A, it's the same thoughts that you keep thinking, and B, most of them are negative. You need to change that. You need to have positive ones, and starting to do affirmations can help you with that. Now, some people think that affirmations are a bit unrealistic, that it's wishful thinking. But if you try looking at positive affirmations in this way, with many of us, sorry, that mosquito, Janet, that I said was here before, is back.
It's still there.
He's still here. He's trying to get me.
Part of your podcast.
He's not buzzing much though, so he can't be that hungry, I don't think. But he definitely wants to be in on the podcast. Go away, mosquito. Yes, where am I? So yeah, affirmations are like exercises for our mind and our outlook, and you need to think of it that way. So we do repetitive exercises to improve our physical health. So just imagine doing the same thing but for your mind, and these positive mental repetitions can reprogram our thinking pattern so that over time we begin to think and act differently. Evidence suggests that affirmations can help you to perform better at work. So imagine that. According to researchers, spending just a few minutes thinking about your best qualities before a high pressure meeting, let's say a performance review or something at work, can calm your nerves, increase your confidence, and improve your chances of a successful outcome. And yeah, we all know people, don't we? I won't say who, but someone in my life once who was always broke, and all they ever talked about was broke. And they said to me once something about, because I had a windfall, and they said, oh yeah, money always goes to money. And I said, yes, it does, because I think, and of course, occasionally we all have doubts about, oh God, how am I going to cope with this or this economic downfall? But you need to think about how money flows to you, and everything always works out for you. And it will. Whereas if you're thinking about being broke and how are you going to pay your bills, that's what's going to happen. And I think at the moment with the credit crunch, the whole world is talking about how am I going to pay my bills? And in my mind, we all need to change and think, well, I've paid my bills for the last 5, 10, 15, whatever years. Of course, I'll be able to pay my bills. It'll all work out. It'll all be fine. So just start thinking of how you can use affirmations. Again, you can read the book. I'll put a link to the book in the show notes. But think about what self-affirmations may help you to mitigate the stresses that are in your life.
And the great thing what you can do is just go to Google, and if there's affirmations that you want for more positive energy or anything that's going on in your life, just type it in, affirmations for.
Yeah,
and there'll be so many suggestions, and I strongly recommend get a notebook and write them down.
Yeah,
you can repeat them again and again and again.
Yeah, and you can even record them in your own voice and play them to you. Apparently affirmations have been used successfully to treat people with low self-esteem, depression, and other mental conditions. And there's research out there on that as well, because they can stimulate the areas of your brain that will make you feel more positive. Anyway, I could talk about affirmations all day, but I'll hand over to you, Janet, to tell us about the V in SAVERS, which stands for visualization.
Yes, so visualization is the process of imagining exactly what you want to achieve or attain, and then mentally rehearsing what you need to do to achieve it. So directly after reading your affirmations, where you took the time to articulate and focus on your goals and who you need to be to take your life to the next level, that's the prime time to just take a minute and visualize yourself living in alignment with your affirmations. So start with 5 minutes. You get ready, you get in a comfortable position, breathe deeply, close your eyes and clear your mind and get ready to visualize. And Hal did a great example of where he visualized starting running. He was never a runner, but he wants to run a marathon. And he visualized of getting up, getting dressed, putting his running shoes on, open the front door, close it behind him, and start running. And he did run a marathon. So that's just one example of how you can put it into practice. So then, yeah, you visualize what you really want. So you see yourself accomplishing it. And a lot of athletes are doing this, especially with, like the Olympics. They visualize winning, going over that final line. And then, yeah, visualize who you need to be and what you need to do to achieve it. So all little steps, keep it simple, but visualize you actually doing it.
Oh, that's such good advice. And I love what you say about the athletes, because it's true. Professional athletes now have a coach for their sport, but they also have a coach for their mind. They have a mindset coach who will help them to visualize their successes. And, if it's good for athletes, it's good for us. Let's have a look at the E in SAVERS S. The E is for exercise. And morning exercise should really be a staple of our daily rituals. When you exercise, even just for a few minutes, it can significantly boost your energy. It can enhance your health, improve your self-confidence and your emotional well-being. It can help you think better and concentrate for longer. And if you think you're too busy for exercise, just forget that. You don't need to spend too long. 10 to 15 minutes to wake up your body is absolutely great. Get your heart rate up, get your blood flowing, fill your lungs with oxygen. So if you find you're a sleepy person in the morning and the thought of doing meditation first will put you back to sleep, do the exercise first. Do some jumping jacks, do any sort of aerobic exercise that you can, running on the spot. But the benefits of morning exercise are just too many to ignore. They really are going to enhance your mental clarity and help you sustain that level of energy throughout the day. So yeah, get exercising. Janet, what's the R for in SAVERS?
The R is for reading. So reading is one of the most immediate methods of acquiring knowledge, ideas and strategies that you need to achieve to achieve that level 10 success in any area of your life. And if it's work, business, family, personal, marriage, there will be a book about everything and anything that you could just pick up. So the key is to learn from the experts, those who have already done what you want to do. Like I said earlier, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Someone would have already worked it out. So yeah, the faster way to achieve everything you want is to model the successful people who have already achieved it. So make a commitment to read a minimum of 10 pages per day, and begin with the end in mind. To ask yourself, why are you reading that book? What do you want to gain from it? And keep that outcome in mind. So if you want to be a better wife or husband, that's your outcome. But you can use your reading time to catch up on any text. You can underline, just any book, and how saying as well, just make it your kind of like a workbook. So like underline, circle, highlight, take notes. Maybe there's some affirmations in there that you want to use on a daily basis. And always, you can always reread any good books, the personal development books that are out there.
Yeah, the sort of marking in your books and highlighting and tagging pages is a really good advice, because if you want to look at a book again and remember the salient points that spoke to you, it's a good way of remembering those points. Brilliant. And the S, so we're at the last letter in SAVERS, which is scribing. So scribing literally means journaling or morning pages. And again, there's loads and loads of research on this, which you can Google and have a look at. It's the final practice in the Lifesavers, and it's really just writing. It's writing for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, getting the thoughts out of your head and putting them onto paper, or you can type them if you prefer to type things. But you can get some valuable insights that you'd possibly not see. It enables you to document your insights, ideas, breakthroughs, successes, lessons learned. If you've got something bothering you, you can write about it and see what's really underlying that stress that you're experiencing at the moment. It's a great opportunity for personal growth or improvement. And again, there's some well-known, really important health benefits of journaling. So really, you should try it. A couple of things that you can do if you're not sure where to start. One is to write down 3 things that you're really grateful for every day. The second one is think about why you're doing the miracle morning. Why are you doing it? I love to write about things I'm grateful for, but also sometimes I put a heading at the top of the page, a question. So, why did I get so annoyed about X yesterday? And then write about it, because you will find it solves that issue in your mind and helps you. So buy yourself a lovely notebook and something that really talks to you, and start writing things down, or on your app, there's some apps. So you can get apps for journaling. You can get them on your tablet or on your phone if that's the way you prefer to do it, or on your laptop, but do it that way. And some people, apparently 82% of Americans, and I'm sure it's similar in the UK, would love to write a book. And this is one way that people start writing their book, because they start putting all their thoughts down on paper, and eventually that might end up where there's enough there for them to actually turn that into a book. Now, Janet, we've gone through the lifesavers that will help people, but how are people going to keep that as a habit? How are they going to keep doing it every day? There was some advice that Hal gave, and maybe we can pass some of that on now.
Definitely get an accountability buddy. Doing it together, you don't want to let the other person down, so that definitely works. At least do it, sometimes it could well be that you had like a late night, or you want to miss a day. Miss a day is fine, but don't make it into 2 days, because then it's very easy then saying, oh, then the 3rd day I missed, and the 4th day, and so forth. So yeah, just keep it going. And the other thing is, like, if you are working shifts, so different hours, don't feel you have to do this in the morning. It's just fit it in, make it beginning of when your day starts, and then just do it then, basically.
Yeah, it's better to do it when your day starts, I think. But if that doesn't work for you, any time in the day is fine, but make a commitment to do it. And maybe set yourself a forfeit, so that if you don't stick to it, it could be that you have to donate to a charity, or even donate to a political party that you don't support. And that way it might stop you. If it's a party you really don't agree with, it might stop you from missing too many days of that miracle morning. There's also a Miracle Morning Facebook group where you can find a partner, maybe someone who's been doing it for years and has had significant shifts in their life. They'd be very happy to be your accountability partner. We also are members of something called a Be Well Club, and it's something that you can join if you really want to get healthy. So just contact Janet or myself. Our contact details will be in the show notes. Just contact us, and we can tell you how you join the Be Well Club. And I'll get Janet on again so that we can have another chat and talk. We'll think of another subject. Maybe we'll both read the same book, and we'll think of another subject that we can chat about. But Janet, any final thoughts or advice for people?
Final thoughts: work on yourself. We can always improve. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't feel everything is negative and against you. Embrace your situations, and just see how you can move things and change things. And there is always a positive outcome. Every scenario and situation, see it as a lesson. lesson learned and how you can learn from it and improve. And as long as you keep on moving forwards and start doing the miracle morning, if you don't try it, there's a lot of stories where people said, I've tried it for 30 days and it changed their life. And for a lot of people, you would not want to go back.
No. And actually, that's a really good point, you saying about don't beat yourself up. That's a good thing to journal about. Sometimes we think, oh gosh, why did I do that? Or why did I say that? Well, right at the top of your page in a journal one morning, why did I do X? And just get it down on paper, because we all make mistakes. We're all human, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if you make a mistake.
And it's okay
Just learn.
to feel those feelings.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. It's so normal to feel those feelings. But think about, as Janet said, the lessons you can learn from that particular whatever it was that you did or thought. We're all human, and it's quite normal to feel that. Janet, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for listening to this week's show. Check out all the links to the resources mentioned in today's episode and all my freebies in the show notes. See you next time.